The first week of August wrapping up. Seth Harp, the bar on the Harp on Sports audio, media, and podcast network. As always, follow, share, follow, share at Harp on Sports Twitter, at Harp on Sports Instagram, harponsports.com. Invite you to be a part of it. You can check out the Harp on Sports, the Bar podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Buzzsprout. So what's we doing today? What are we going to talk about? Well, a couple of things. A little sounds of silence coming your way this fall. Going to address that. Zero tolerance policy going forward, and then a little reality bites. Start off first with a little sounds of silence as Penn State comes out and says, no fans in the stands. We talked about this back in June. You're going to have to sacrifice your summer if you want to fall. You're not going to get to go to games. I don't know why that's so tough for fans to grasp the concept of. Like, this disease isn't like a season where, I'll just wait till June and it gets nice out. You're not going to wait this thing out. Eventually, you'll wait it out. This thing's not going away because of the bottom 10%. I'll continue to rehash that till my head explodes because unintelligent, reckless people are keeping this thing alive now. We've known about it for 5 months. Unintelligent, reckless human beings are keeping this alive. I'm going to address them coming up here. They're killing your football season. That's just killing your football season, you being able to go. And, Penn State came out and said no fans. The Green Bay Packers have come out and said no fans in the stands. This is just going to continue. Do you think university presidents are going to trot a bunch of people out there and get them hurt and sick? They're not. I'll sign a waiver. You'll sign a waiver to get other people sick. Well, if I get sick, I'll sign a waiver. It's not that simple. It's not about you. 6 months later, it's not about you. It's about other people. And Americans, we band together for a little while. For a little while. We came together 20 years ago for 9/11. I'm not so sure we'd come together for something like that anymore. What about me? The Packers, the Green Bay Packers. Can you think of any small local community that has one thing that means more to them in sports than the Packers mean to Green Bay? You would a city or a town the size of Green Bay could never get an expansion team. The Green Bay Packers just shut down fans for at least the first 2 home games in the month of September leading into October. Do you know the Green Bay Packers are the only professional football team that's yet to play a home game in London? Why? Because every single game at Lambeau sold out. They understand the importance of it. And the Packers just took away 2 home games full of fans. If that doesn't just completely show the gravity of this, we'll be okay. In a month, we're going to be okay. Do you realize it's been over a month since the 4th of July? Now, fast forward that time frame. The 4th of July seems like it was 2 weeks ago, right? It was over a month ago. Now, fast forward that time frame forward. You think you're going to get fans in the stands in 4 weeks? First college football game's 23 days away. It's to the point now, and people just reinvent things along the way. Like, okay, nobody's going to die. It's not going to be that bad. Just a couple people will die. 160,000 American corpses. Yeah, but more people die of the flu. That's not true. Well, more people. There are more people than that are sold on child sex trafficking rings. We're just changing things as we go along. More people died of the plague compared to the plague. Oh, yeah, you bet. Justifying death. And again, you're not going to get to go. You're not going to get to go to games. Sounds of silence in football stadiums all across America. Maybe that will trigger people into going, wait a second, it's a big deal. Maybe that. You know, you got a big, right now, America's behaving like the seventh grader that's got a book report due on Monday, and they're starting at Sunday at 7 p.m. Maybe that's where we're going to have to get. Removing you from football games. And here's the other thing, too, and it's not going to be very popular, and it doesn't matter. Do you know the first people that should be allowed in football games are? Collegiately? Big boosters and donors. Millionaires. The common fan should be the last person allowed inside of a football stadium. Big boosters and donors. Why? Because you need their money. Well, that's not right. So? You're going to need their money to rebuild your program quicker. The first people, what about the common guy? Common guy, whatever. What about regular guys? Sorry, you don't count. Not from this. The first people that should be allowed back are the people that pay for the suites, the people that pay for the big money stuff. They're the first people that should be allowed back. It's like, we're going to allow 5,000 fans in. Well, they should be the ones that spend the most money. They should. You don't like that? Okay. I've been talking about this since February and March, and here we are. We are 3.5 weeks away from September, and the dumb just keep on trotting along. I have people, you know, as I'm hosting an ESPN here in Gainesville, 98.1 FM, 850 AM WRUF, that say the coronavirus is a hoax. As long as you got people like that don't believe it, that are going out doing it, you're hosed. And I've been fighting this, you know, back and forth with people like, well, people are entitled to their opinion. Well, yeah, but if the opinion's wrong, they're not entitled to continue to espouse upon it. If I have an opinion that I don't believe in gravity, it doesn't mean I get to state that opinion. You can state it. I can whack you with a hammer as you say it. If I sit there and say women are inferior to men, I'm entitled to my opinion. No, you're not. You're not. People, they think that I have a right to this, I have a right to that. You're not entitled to go into the cockpit of an airplane. You're not entitled to take a police officer's car. I'm entitled to say what I want to say. No, you're not. Don't believe me? Walk onto an airplane and yell bomb. And tell me I'm entitled to my opinion. That looks like a bomb. I was just expressing my opinion. I know a lot of you are smart. I'm employing and imploring smart people. Don't let morons ruin things for everybody. Oh, you're shouting down people. Yeah. Morons have run this for 5 months now. No more. That's it. I said it a couple weeks ago. You go. You've been playing around. Now you're going to kill me. You're not going to get people that I love killed. No, stop it. I would love for the governor of Florida, and he's not going to do it. How embarrassing is it that the state of Mississippi and Indiana both have mask mandates before we do in the state of Florida? And the governor of Florida is coming out and saying, hey, you know what? Florida and Florida State should play each other in football. Hey, murderer, quiet. Issue mask mandates. Worrying about Florida and Florida State playing a football game. People in assisted living facilities are dying, and you're worrying about a football game in November? Good God. Come on. It's disgusting. It is. It's disgusting and it's embarrassing. And trying to grasp the concept of this just absurd behavior and absurd logic. You keep doubling down on it. The governor in Florida addressing the Florida State football game, but not issuing a mask mandate. Oh, okay. Oh, man. So, stadiums, you're just not going to get to go. You're not. You're not. And it's a copycat thing where people follow this, and the first people that should be allowed in are wealthy people. It's just the way it is. That's not fair. Well, okay. It's not fair that I don't make $1 million a year either. Get in line, get in the fair line. And people complain, it's not fair. Hey, you want fair? Wait till the fall of 2021. They'll be back in full force if you start wearing a mask. They got big pumpkins and squash and rides and all sorts of things. It's a great line from the movie The Judge. Oh, you want fair? If you want fair, head up the road, Indianapolis. First weekend in August. It's a lot of fun. Except this year because you won't wear a mask. History's going to look back on this, go, why? We didn't know. You know, right now, if you're smart, you get it. You know. Smart people get it. Look who's disagreeing with you. Are they smart or not? A badge of honor to me is when morons disagree with me. If unintelligent, crazy lunatics disagree with me, I win. Those people scream the most, but I win. If doctors, intelligent people, scientists disagree with me, then I've got an issue. Then I know my logic's flawed. If arrogant, racist, crazy, unintelligent people disagree with me, win. Big W. From that to zero tolerance. This is one of these things. I'm all for protecting students. I am. But Louisville soccer players threw a party in which the coronavirus spread, led to an outbreak. Louisville kicked them out of school. Good. Students, I'll support you to death, but you got to be smart. Zero tolerance. Zero. Will Muschamp came out and said, I need my players to be boring this fall. I need you to have boring lives. Do you realize we can have a boring life for 4 months and then get everything back or come close to getting everything back? But people couldn't be bothered to be bored for 4 weeks. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this. What, sit around and do nothing? And now, we're worse now than we were at any point in this. And if I were an athletic director, I'd come out and say, if we catch any athletes at any party, we're kicking you off the team. What? You can't do that? Just did. What do you mean I can't do that? You can't police that. Yeah, you can, because kids can't stop posting pictures of themselves on social media. Look, you tell student athletes all the time, you can't go out the Friday night before a football game. You tell student athletes all the time things, right? You do. Doesn't mean they always listen. But you tell them all the time. You can't do this, you can't do that. It happens every walk of life. You can't drive faster than this. You can't eat that. You can't do this. Doesn't mean everybody listens, but if you came out and said, hey, listen, we catch you at a party, we're going to kick you off the team. You can't. You're not going to be allowed to play football this year. Just not. You're infringing on my rights. No, you have rights, but those rights have consequences. You have the right to drive until you abuse it. We can't have you doing these things. I know a couple of universities, a couple of conferences. What is it? The Big East is one of them that's exploring a bubble for college basketball. Wow. You know, the NBA's bubble's working. The NHL's bubble's working. You got to keep people out. You got to isolate people. You can't live like that forever. No, we can live like that, though, until those bottom 10%, those crazies that think this is a hoax and that somehow the world's most influential and smartest person on communicable diseases and epidemiology is part of a new world order that's trying to get control by microchipping people through Bill Gates. It's just stupid. Just dumb people that are ruining things for us. I don't listen to people that post blurry memes on social media. Done with them. Just done with them. You know, squash those people. I wouldn't care if, and this is it, people want to stay in power, get elected. If I were a governor, I'd come out and say, look, we catch you without a mask on in a public place. You refuse. You become, if you become combative with the checkout person or the person at Walmart or any grocery store, you refuse to wear a mask, fine. You want to play that game? The job then of the person is to call this number. We're going to come and we're going to give you $1,000 ticket for not wearing a mask. We are. Oh, you can't do that. Just did. All the time people are saying, I don't know why that person got choked. That person got beat up. That individual got in trouble with the police because they wouldn't listen to the police. Please put your mask on. I'm not listening to you. Oh, so let me get this straight. When we didn't have this ordinance and we didn't have these mask mandates, somebody questioning authority and fighting with police, hey, they had what was coming to them. Don't question police. Shouldn't question them on the mask either. How's the principle any different? Except the mask could be a matter of life and death. That wasn't. I don't have a lot of faith in Americans right now. I don't. It's not our bottom 10%. Our bottom 10%, I've never had faith in them. They're the worst of us. They are. They're the worst of us. And they're keeping this going. And if you can sit there and say all these tests, and it's because we test more. That's why we test more than everybody else. That's why we have 5 million positive tests, because we test more than anyone else. Okay, fine, Sherlock. We test more than anyone else. We have 23% of the world. 1 out of 4 people that are dying of the coronavirus are Americans. It's not because we're testing more. It's because we're stupid and reckless. We are. And look, everything that I've said the last 4 or 5 months has been true. Hasn't it? Told you this wasn't going away. Told you it wasn't going to be overnight. And I'm here to tell you, you're going to lose football season. You're not going to get fans in the stands. I told you back in April that you weren't going to get fans in the stands. You weren't. Told you that you're going to have to sacrifice your summer if you want to go to football games in the fall. Well, the things have been right. I'm going to tell you something else here on August 6th. You're not going to get ready for this? Goodbye Halloween. I'm going to go to that for Halloween. You're not going to go trick-or-treating? No way. You take your kids door to door where people put their hands on candy and throw it in your bag? You're not going to get to... Cities are going to start canceling Halloween trick-or-treating coming up here in the next month. And guess what's after that? Parades, Thanksgiving Day parades, Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. They canceled the Rose Bowl. Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade's going bye-bye. And guess what else you're going to start to see go bye-bye? Christmas shopping. Santa at the mall. Get ready to say goodbye to Santa. That's next. How can you? Well, that's not right. Then wear a mask. Isn't it amazing? Everybody that wants this stuff back refuses to participate. I want this, I want this, I want that, I want this. And those are the same people that get mad at people. Oh, the people want welfare. They just want handouts. They want gimmies. They want all these things. Well, what are you doing to contribute? How are you part of the solution here? By moaning and bitching on Twitter? Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Yeah, the reality of the situation bites right now. Again, you're going to get to watch football games. Yeah, I just want sports back. I want sports back. Congratulations, you got sports back. You're not going to get to go. Oh, yeah, we will. This is just going to go away. Okay. It's going to go away. Again, this disease is not like a season. It's not like, well, we'll just have to wait till June and it won't be cold anymore. Doesn't work that way. This thing does not operate in that capacity. Now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, will we peak? Will we learn? Yes. But it's almost like we're not learning anything along the way here. And I've said this, the first school that comes out and the first conference that comes out and says, we're going to isolate our student athletes from the rest of the student population this fall. You can pull it off, you bet. I love Will Muschamp's idea, South Carolina's head football coach, of moving every SEC game to in the afternoon or evening. So 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30 kicks. You fly in the morning. You go right from the airport to the stadium. You play your game and you go home. That way I'm not in a hotel room. I'm not putting myself in a risky situation. I'm not adding more opportunities to get sick. It's brilliant. It's smart. Well, what about what? Back to you again. Isn't it amazing how fans like, we're going to do this for the students, we're going to do this students, but what about me as a fan? What about me? Hey, we're going to isolate the students, but you don't get to go to games. but me. It's funny, most fan complaints I've had about we don't get to go to games, nobody ever said, we don't get to go to games this fall. You know what I haven't heard yet? This is going to wrap this thing up. You know, I haven't heard this yet. I know we don't get to go to games this fall, but at least they'll keep the student athletes safe. I know we don't get to go to games this fall, and I hate it, but at least the athletes will be safe. The next time I hear that, will be the first time that I hear that. 20 years ago, we came together as a country for each other. We can't come together for a month. People would rather talk trash and die than keep their mouth shut and live. It's true. Like, follow, share, follow, like Harp On Sports Instagram, at Harp On Sports Twitter, harponsports.com, Harp On Sports, The Bar, the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Spotify. We're at all of those locations. It's a pretty good podcast. Hope you enjoy it and would appreciate you sharing it with as many people as possible. LeBron knows. Seth knows. I like my new shirt. I remind me a lot of LeBron. Champion that's underappreciated. The greatest of his generation. Enjoy the first week of August. Again, no NFL preseason. I'm enjoying the PGA Championship. It's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. Tiger Woods, he doesn't have to be in the wedding party. He just needs to be on the dance floor. And 2 under through the first round. He's within, 4 shots of the lead? He's on the dance floor. That's all I can ask for. Got to thank you for your time, as always. Follow, share, like. Share, follow, like. All those things follow. Harp On Sports on all the platforms. We appreciate it. This has been The Bar on the Harp On Sports Audio Podcast Media Network.